In this example, I created an in-context reference by using the Offset Sketch tool while editing the cover component. There are other ways of creating in-context references, such as adding geometric relations to other assembly components, adding dimensions that reference other assembly components, or using surfaces and planes belonging to other assembly components. Any of these will result in a link between the component that you're editing and other components in the assembly. These links, or external references as they're called in SOLIDWORKS, are represented in the Feature Manager tree by an arrow symbol. The symbol will appear next to the feature that contains the external reference, as well as its parents. For instance, in this example, the external reference was a result of using the Offset Sketch tool in this sketch. Therefore, the sketch has an arrow next to it, as well as its parent, the Cut Extrude feature, and its parent, the cover component itself. Let me open Cover Component in its own window. Notice the arrow symbols appear here, just as they did in the assembly. Now watch what happens if I return to the assembly and close the assembly file. Notice a question mark appears next to the arrow. This tells me that a feature with an external reference is currently out of context. That is, it cannot communicate with the assembly, so it doesn't know if any changes have been made. This is very important to understand. Let me open the Ratchet component and tile my windows. Remember that this hole in the cover component is defined using this stud on the Ratchet component. The idea was to create this in-context feature so that if the size of the stud changed, the hole on the cover would automatically update. Watch what happens if I change the stud diameter to 0.35. I'll click over to the cover component, and the size of the hole has not updated. This is because the assembly where these two components exist together is not open. The assembly is the bridge that allows these two parts to talk to each other. Since I closed that assembly earlier, any changes made to the ratchet are not being propagated to the cover, and that's what the question marks in the Feature Manager tree are telling me. To correct this problem, all I have to do is open the assembly. An easy way to do this is to right-click on any feature that has an external reference and select Edit in Context. As soon as the assembly is loaded, you can see the hole in the cover is updated to match the ratchet. There's quite a bit more to understand about external references, including file management issues, as well as how to remove external references if necessary. We'll take a look at these topics a bit later. First, let's take a look at using top-down design to create a completely new component.